India. The overall content will be around about the IPR, its meaning and the significance, the tools of IPR or various forms of IPR, and what for IPR rights can be acquired, and different types of IPR. IPR means and significance. IPR means intellectual property rights. Basically, it is an amalgam of different streams like science, law, and commerce in one go. Like how we correlate them? Anything that comes from our mind, is the creation of our human mind. That is our intellect. That means the science behind it. And when it is converted or expressed in the form of a property, and when we claim the ownership over that, that means the law is integrating with the commerce. So in this way, the science, commerce, and the law are integrated. Various forms of IPR tools available in India are, the oldest form is the trade secrets. Then in the trade secrets, it relates to any kind of secret related to the trade, like a customer list or the, as we said, secret formula, secret ingredient, secret process of business or the marketing. All these, when are safeguarded very secretly and in very confidential manner, they are considered as trade secrets. Then patents. Patents relate to the invention or any kind of technological innovation. Trademarks. They give an association of the innovation with the trademark or association of the business with the product or the process. When the idea or the innovation expression is protected, like any picture, any art form, any song, lyrics, poem, book, these are protected as copyright. Then plant breeders' right. These are the natural rights given to the plant breeders, and most of them are the farmers. Then the appearance or the way any innovation looks, those are protected under utility model or the industrial design. In India, utility model is not enforceable, but the industrial design is very much enforceable. Then there is geographical indication or GI. That relates to when the innovation relates to any particular geographical origin of that particular area or a place, that is associated with GI. Any one of you have ever heard of any kind of these IPRs that we have just discussed? So IPR rights can be acquired for name of the business, trade name, distinctive signs. Those can be trademarks, geographical indications, certification marks, or the collective marks. Creative designs or the appearance or the look of the product is protected as industrial design. Then any innovative product or the process is protected as patents. The cultural, artistic, and literary works, they include the softwares as well as any database or the compilation of data. These are also protected under copyright. Then any confidential business information, as we have just discussed, they include customer list, sales tactics, marketing strategies, manufacturing processes, etc. These are protected as trade secrets. A range of IP can be used to protect the same product. A single product can be protected by using many forms of IPs, that is intellectual properties. For example, if we take any fountain pen, the technology in the pen, that is for the fountain pen that could store ink, the technology that is utilized in the pen is being protected as a patent or as a utility model for the grip and pipette for the injection of ink. As in India, utility model is not prevalent, so this can be protected as a patent only. But we have to prove for certain condition so that the subject matter can be patentable. Then comes the smart design of the pen and the shape of the arrow that we can see on the pen. These are protected under industrial design. And we can see a mark over here, written mark. This is the brand name, so it will be protected as a trademark. Now let us discuss one by one about these different forms of IPs. First of all, starting with the trademark. Whenever you have, on the daily basis, we have been using various brands from morning to night. And we have observed there are written R or TM over them. So these are the trademarks, where R indicate that it is a registered trademark and TM indicate that this trademark has been applied for the registration and the trademark registration process is going on. What can be a trademark? What can stand as a trademark? A trademark is of any word, name or symbol or combination of any of these that let us identify the goods made or services offered by an individual, firm, society, trust or company. Basically, these trademarks identify the goods or the services that any particular business firm or company is providing. For example, just looking at the logo of BMW, we can recall the car. Or just looking at the logo of Cadbury's, we can say, yeah, it is a good brand of chocolates. Various types of trademarks are there. For example, logo, that is device, word mark or the label. And few non-traditional trademarks are also there. It can be sound, olfactory trademarks are there, that is a smell or color or combination of colors. Any trademark is registered for a period of 10 years and can be again renewed for a lifetime. Any query over here?
Ma'am, in the case of specific color or a color combination, you've mentioned that it is registered only for 10 years. Then what happens in the case of companies like Cadbury? Because that purple color is a very specific color that they use. And since it's an international brand, how will it work?
I told you it can be renewed for lifetime. Any trademark can be renewed for lifetime.
Hello, ma'am. I had a question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. If a company like say BMW has a typical color coding of say blue and white, is it possible for any other company to have the same colors in a different form or different size or shape, and that can be used for a lifelong trademark symbol? Is that possible, or is it only the monopoly of BMW or any such company like that?
No, they will have to define their trademark. It is not that they can universally say blue and white combination is their combination. Only they can apply it for a certain design or certain a particular thing or particular goods or services. Sorry. So they have to define their area of work.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Now let us discuss a bit about the trademark rules that will further clarify some of your doubts. While we are designing our trademark, we should keep certain points in our mind. Few advices are, First thing, that the trademark that you are coining should be unique. Means it should not be a dictionary word. It would be good if it would be a coined word. It should be distinctive. The trademark should be able to stand out of others. It should not be one among the others. And no other similar kind of word or other trademark should be available globally. The designing should be customly designed, and the devices or symbol. Devices is a term given to the logo. In common terms, we say logo. And when we talk in terms of trademark rules and act and law, we call it a device. So it would be understood just like if we see here, the logo of Cadbury. If we say just the word CADBURY, Cadbury, it will be called as word mark. But if we see this purple colored logo with this particular design, with this particular font and style written, and this particular label, it will be called as a logo or a device mark. Then one very important point will be that the trademark should not be descriptive. It should be non-descriptive. For example, a very good example is the trademark of Apple. Apple company is producing iPhone. It is producing electronic devices, but the trademark is not at all reflecting what the company is doing. It is just out of their service and their products that are into market since long, that the association is felt by the customer that yes, Apple company is associated with electronic goods. The trademark that we are coining should not reflect what service or what goods the company is dealing with. Is this point clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And few points are there to be avoided. For example, we should not use any adjective. We should not use name of the person or place, or any obscene word should not be used, or any word that is correlated with some religious or constitutional words like Om symbol or the Ashoka Chakra. These should be avoided. And any particular shape that is very common should not be used, ideally. They try to avoid such kind of things. It is always better to coin a word, to design a logo on your own, so that it would meet all the criteria laid down by the Trademark Act to make it registrable. Next will be about the copyright. The copyright, as the word says, is a right not to copy. And it is given to all the original works that belongs either to the literary works or the artistic work. Literary means like books, poem, lyrics, or the artistic work like cinematographic films, sculptures, etc. One should keep in mind that the computer programs or the databases, these comes under the protection of copyright only. Any photograph, song or a story that are being created or written or produced by the innovator, these all comes under the Copyright Act. And the tenure of the copyright is for the lifetime of the author plus 60 years from the death of the author. And here it varies from country to country. A little bit variation can be there, but majorly it is like this only, 60 years plus the lifetime of the author. And what is not included under Copyright Act is something that is not original, like telephone directory, like facts that are already established, or short phrases, similar kind of things. Those are already existing, or news clippings. These are not coming under the copyright. How can one protect their copyright? Unlike other IPRs, copyright is one thing that arises in a work as soon as you create it. Means as soon as you have painted a beautiful scenery or a beautiful picture, it is copyrighted. The artist owns the copyright. So there is no legal need to register it. But yes, whenever there is a dispute condition and whenever there is chances of arisal of dispute, one should get it registered. Mostly whenever the copyright thing or the artistic thing or that particular work has started making profits or has some commercial value, then they should get registered. And only criteria for getting a copyright is that it should be original. And getting the work copyright registered will be a strong proof that somebody is the actual owner of that work. And the process is not very cumbersome. It is easy process. One can register their copyright at the given link, copyright.gov.in, with the requisite fees, and fees varies with the kind of the work. So it has to be checked from there and then the Copyright Office that for which particular work the copyright is seeking for. If no third person objects to the application and your application passes the examination stage, the Copyright Office will grant copyright registration for your work. So that was the little bit I wanted to discuss about trademark and copyright. Is there anything, anybody has any query here?
Ma'am, like you've just told us about how to, we don't need copyright in case we have, artist has created a work, and we are some students, from technical background, and if we create some program or something like that, what's the process for that? Like, would it
Which
come under
kind of,
copyright or not?
which program, like
Ma'am,
elaborate a bit?
ma'am, for example, we have created an application. Would it
Okay,
come
that
under
is,
copyright?
that means the software, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so softwares will be under copyright only.
Okay, ma'am. And the process to register for it is the same, to go to copyright.gov.in.
Yeah, link is the same, office is the same. Only thing is, for example, for the softwares, you will have to, like, whatever the innovation is, it has to be submitted in some hard copy form. So you need to submit the CDs with the software
Okay.
along with the, if they have the source code and the object code, you have to submit with that. And there is a form, copyright form. So you have to fill that form, and minimal fees is of rupees 500, but it varies with the kind of work, as I told. So you can ask from the Copyright Office if you're doing it yourself, and submit your software along your form along with the CDs at the Copyright Office, and within 7 to 8 months you will get the registration certificate if there is no objection from anybody.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome. Anybody else? So let's move ahead about the industrial designs. So industrial design, they refer to only to the appearance of the innovation. A design means the shape, pattern, and arrangement of lines or color, or the combination of color that is applied to any product. Here it is to be understood that the design has to be applied on any product. That is what it makes it different from any other IP. A design alone cannot be registered only when it is applied to any article or any product. For example, any bottle, any chair, any table, any furniture item, or any item that is available in the market. The design has to be applied on that, and then it has the ability to be produced industrially. So then it gets the industrial design registration. Because the protection is given only to the aesthetic value of the article, that is the eye-catching features, and not at all to the functional or use of that particular item. Design refers only to what is visible by the eyes and not what it is doing. Even if it has no functional value, that would be good, because design office will not ask for any function, and whenever the application it put is applied for industrial design, it should be kept in mind that whatever the design you are putting up, no technical use of that design should be presented. Only the features, those are visible by the eye, should be reflected. A design is registered by the design controller in the Indian Patent Office. After registration, a design is valid for an initial period of 10 years and which can be extended further for 5 more years. During this time, the registered design can only be used after getting a license from its owner. Once the validity period is over, the design will be available for anybody to use. So what should be the criteria for getting a design registered? Number one, it should be new, it should be original, and should not have been published anywhere. Published or used means both the thing has to be fulfilled. Neither it should be published nor used. Means it should not be available in the public domain before you are filing the registration application. The design should be applied or applicable to any article by an industrial process. For example, here I have shown some pics of the faucets. Various designs are applied on the faucet, so they are varying in their shape and structure. So all these designs are registrable. So wherever the product is having their commercial value in their aesthetic, in their appearance, there this industrial design plays a very important role. Calendars, greeting cards, stamps, medals, cartoons. These are few of the things that are exceptions from design registration. And we should also keep in mind that whatever can be registered as a trademark or a copyright cannot be registered as a design. So is it clear for industrial design? Any query? Else we'll move to the patents. Industrial design is also one of the very important IP tool that is used by the technical students or the future entrepreneurs, because just for an example, if we can see, we take the example of these Coca-Cola bottles. The bottles design, their cap design, their can design, each and every aspect has a commercial value so that others cannot copy it. So to protect that, one should get their design registered. So let's move further for the patents.
Ma'am?
Yes.
For example, I have a water bottle that I've customly, I have designed, and there's a specific way in which the cap is opening. It might open at 45 degrees or something like that. So I'll have to get that under industrial design.
Look, just for the appearance sake, it has to be under industrial design, and simultaneously, since your cap is having some technical importance, you should get the patent also.
Patent also. Okay, ma'am. Fine. Like, ma'am, for example, instead, like on the cap, if the top of the cap I had a design, that would be under industrial design only. but the design of the way of my cap is opening, that would be under industrial design and patent as well.
That design, that particular thing that you mean, that is indicated by some lines or something? Or
Yes,
it
ma'am,
is
like a
just,
normal, like some aesthetic lines or some combination
yes,
of shapes.
then you have to go for the industrial design plus patents.
Okay, thank you,
And
ma'am.
if you will go for the patent, I'll discuss about the patent thing. And then again, just remind me to explain why it should come in patents also. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start for the patents. Patent must be the most interesting topic for you all, since you all belong to the technology. Most of you are from the technology segment. Patent, what is a patent? First question is this. All the inventions, we can assume that they begin from as a solution to any problem, and whenever that idea of the solution takes the shape of any product or a process and is or implemented as an actual product, then it is very important to get the registration of the technology used in that product or the process as a patent. If we will get a patent for our invention, then nobody else can steal it or can say that this is their invention, not yours, or can create copies of your invention or make benefit out of your idea or your innovation without your knowledge. But the thing that one should keep in mind, whenever you want to file a patent, you must see that the invention should be expressed in the form of a product or as a process. It should not be just a vague idea. Ideas are not patentable. They have to be expressed in the form of the product or the process. Why it is important to get a patent, or what does the patent system do? The patent system encourages research. It induces an inventor to disclose their invention instead of keeping them as secret. All the researches, most of the researches are conducted on whatever has already been done, and modification of the already been done or some improvement in the existing technology leads to further enhanced or more efficient products or services or the processes. So to encourage the research process and simultaneously to reward the inventor, the patent system was developed, because it also provides inducement of capital investment, encouraging technological development. Whenever there is, customer is always wanting something new, always want something uh, innovative, or more helpful, more efficient, reducing their daily course or something like that. So more the innovation is there in the product or in the technology, it will attract more of the capital, more of the people to invest in that particular product or the invention. And that is why it will help in establishment of newer industries also. So a patent is a monopoly right. Monopoly means it will be granted to the inventor or the owner of the patent, and only that person will guide who will be using it, who will be making copies of it, and so on. So patent is a monopoly right granted by the government. So who is granting these rights? The government of that particular country. To whom the rights are granted? Either to the inventor or to whomsoever the inventor is assigned that particular invention. So these patent rights are granted by the government to the inventor or his assignee for an invention for the complete disclosure of that particular invention, but for a limited period. And these patent rights are valid within the country of grant. It is not that if you are getting a patent in India, it will be applicable in US, or you are getting a patent in US, it will not be applicable in India. You have to get it in both India as well as US. If you want to sell your product in both the countries and have a monopoly over that, it is granted in lieu of sufficient disclosure to the patent offices. So rights are granted against the disclosure of the invention, and it is the only territorial right. If we talk of India, it applies to the whole country. No state is left. Whichever state is there in India, to whole India, the Patent Act applies in the same fashion. It protects intellectual property for 20 years. Patent rights are given for 20 years and they have to be renewed. Every year, renewal fees has to be paid. And once the patent rights are given, nobody else can manufacture the product apart from the owner of the patent. Someone can pay you the royalties. And if the owner wants, they can sell their patent, they can get license and earn royalties for that. The patent can also be used to block competitors from working on the same kind of product or selling same kind of product in the market. So they can block the competitors. But after 20 years, the technology goes to the public domain and anybody is free to use it. However, the patent is not an absolute right. In certain conditions, the patent rights will not apply. For example, current pandemic situation that we are facing, in such kind of condition, if any invention is required by the public, the government can say that this particular invention is required for public benefit, so government can use it. Importation of or manufacturing by or on behalf of government. Then for experimental purposes, that means in lab or research purposes, patent rights does not apply. Anybody can do it for that purpose. For teaching purposes, for distribution of drug or medicine by government in dispensary, hospital or other medical institutions, rendering public service or on behalf of the government. So in these particular conditions, patent rights does not apply. What are patent rights? Patent rights are to prevent third party without authorization to make or manufacture that particular product for which the patent has been obtained. Nobody else apart from the owner of the patent, without taking any authorization from the patent owner, can make or manufacture that particular product or even use that product without the permission of the owner. Neither they can offer for sale of that product or neither they can offer for sale, neither they can directly sell that particular product. No import of the product is possible without authorization of the owner of patent. Neither distribution of that particular product, neither the licensing of that particular. These all features can be done. These all things can be applied on any product or any process for which the patent has been acquired by somebody. So one has to take the permission of that particular person or the patent owner, then only if anybody wants can use that. So it is very important to understand that not all the things are patentable. It is not that whatever we invent, we will be able to get a patent over that. So if anybody in the area of research and want to acquire a patent, then they should work in on that particular subject matter. Those are patentable, and just not all the things are patentable. And let us have a look what all things, what all subject matters can be patentable. First of all, no discovery can be patentable. Only an invention can be patentable. So I hope so everybody understand the meaning. What is the difference in invention and a discovery? In very simple words, whatever is already existing in nature is not patentable. Only thing that those are man-made, those are noble, that means new, and are not known to anybody, and are different from whatever is available globally all over the world, will be patentable. Then there will be one more criteria, that whatever the invention has been put for a patent grant, it should include some inventive step. That means it should not be obvious to anybody. The invention should not be very obvious to anybody who is working in the same field and can say it is like very obvious kind of thing. Anybody can do it. So all the patent applications are examined by technical persons in the patent office, and if on examination the details given to the government office, the patent office, they don't meet these criteria, they don't show that the invention is novel, the invention is non-obvious, and also the invention should have some applicability. It should be useful for the public. That means it should have some industrial application. It should not be frivolous, that does not solve any purpose. Only in those conditions where the invention meets these 4 criteria, the patent will be granted. First of all, it should be an invention and not a discovery. It should be novel. It should be non-obvious and should have industrial application. Conclusively, we can say an invention in simple terms refers to a new product or process which is a technical advancement over the existing knowledge or has economic significance, or both. Few examples given here are like television, telephone, vaccines, and other processes. So any question till here for the patents?
Ma'am, I had a question that, for example, you said about the government can use it. So, matlab, ma'am, that the government has access to whatever our designs are, and they can use it at any means. And like, matlab, I can understand that there's a free movement of, them having the opportunity of using it. But is it like, if we ask them, like, you can use this if some conditions are met? Or if we can ask for any monetary gains from them, is that possible, or they have the right to use it freely without any materialistic things attached to it?
No, it is not that in any case they will be using it. Only in certain like emergency kind of situation that the government will be using that particular patent, and they will be informing the patent owner. And if in case the patent owner is drastically getting financial losses, there is a provision of a request to be made to the government for providing some monetary gains over that.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, you also said that to remind you why the bottle cap should be under patent as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see. Okay. So as I have just told that whatever is having some technical benefit, that comes under the invention, right? when we say that bottle cap is just not the it is just not the design, just the thing that we are seeing is useful or it is innovative. As you said, there are certain lines that are at particular angle that are leading to opening of the lid. So this is a technical enhancement and it has some industrial application, some utility. So it is broadly putting it under a technical invention or technical innovation. So protecting is for a complete protection, we should go for industrial design that will protect only the way it looks. And by getting a patent, it will protect a broader area of its technicality, the particular principle that you have created into it. So patent will be protecting that. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. A lot. Thank you so much.
Okay. So whenever the product is having some technical enhancement, it's better to go for patent because patent is giving more rights and for 20 years, whereas in industrial design, it is only for the period of 15 years. And just by varying the shape of that particular item, if that particular product is not having the commercial value due to its technical enhancement, then go for the industrial design. And if the commercial value of the product is in the design or the appearance, then go for the I think I made it some confusion. For the physical appearance, industrial design is best, and for the technical advancement, patent is best. Okay. So
Okay,
we
ma'am.
have, yeah. So we have discussed what can be patented. Now let us have a look at what cannot be patented. As I told you, not everything under the globe is patentable. So as per our Indian patent law, and it is in general, I am talking of various patent laws available all over the world. These are the particular things that are not patentable. Like whatever the scientific principles that are established, nobody can claim to patent those. And if the invention is contrary to any well-established natural law, that is also not patentable. Formulation of any abstract theory, not patentable. Any frivolous invention. Frivolous invention means any invention that is done but is not having any use or not solving any problem. It is just for the sake of invention. It is novel. It is having some technical differences from the existing thing, but cannot be used by anybody for the human benefit. It will not be patentable. Then any invention, if it is found that it may be injurious or it may be against the morality of the public, or it may create some nuisance amongst the public, it will not be patentable. Then method of agriculture or horticulture. These are not patentable. And please take care, I am saying method of agriculture. So only the method is not patentable. But if anybody is coming up with some agricultural equipments or tools that can be beneficial for the person working in this area, those are very much patentable. Then method of treatment of animals or humans. Again, here to be noted is method. Method of treatment is not patentable, but things required for the treatment. For example, medicines. For example, tools. Those are used by the surgeons. Those are very much patentable. Admixtures. Admixture means anything mixed together or 2 or 3 items joined together to create a new item. Most of the time this word admixture is associated with a very commonly known word जुगाड़. जो हम कहते हैं जुगाड़ वाला invention. Those are not patentable kind of thing. when we are combining 2 or 3 things, they should integrate together, they should synergize together, and should produce some result that individual components are unable to make. They should not be like A, B, C, we have mixed A, B, C together, and A is having their own property, B own property, and C own property. No. If A is bringing some enhancement to the B or C or vice versa, that this combination together is beneficial to come up with a combination, then only it will come to a patentable kind of thing. Here another example I will give, a very classical example is like if somebody attaches a torch with a umbrella, that will not be a patentable kind of thing, because umbrella is also working independently and torch is also working independently. There is just somebody else put them together and joined. So it will be a admixture. It will not be patentable. Then traditional knowledge. Traditional knowledge refers to whatever we have known from our ancestors. Whatever, like many things we came to know have been known to our tribal community. Many medicines, those are known in our Ayurveda. So all these are traditional knowledge. So these things are not patentable. Here, one thing to be like, how can we make our traditional knowledge patentable? Here, for example, a very classic example is of curcumin. Curcumin is an active ingredient of turmeric, which is well known for its medicinal properties. So turmeric as it is will not be a patentable item. But if somehow we can prove that we have isolated, and just not the isolation of that curcumin, but more ingredients that have produced some multifold enhancement in the efficacy of that medicinal property for any particular disease. If our invention is able to create such kind of enhancement in the efficacy of turmeric, then it may be patentable. Then further, any invention related to atomic energy are not at all patentable. And whenever any application is presented in the patent office, it is examined thoroughly, especially for these kind of like for atomic energy or defense related kind of subject matter, and only a go ahead from government will further allow the examination of that particular patent application. Any naturally occurring substance, plant or animals are not at all patentable. So this is a very broad topic on currently on the slide. So I have in general discussed most of the things, but if any query coming to anybody's mind, please share.
Ma'am, you mentioned the last point, naturally occurring substance or plant or animal, but any product coming from them, can we look at patenting something like that as part of the, for example, Pashmina from Kashmir comes from a very specific type of wool from a very specific type of sheep. So would that be a patent that India can hold or must be holding?
If we talk particularly of Pashmina, that is not patentable, but India is having rights over them in the form of traditional knowledge, as well as there is another IP form, that is GI, geographical indication. So these kind of innovations or particular intellectual properties will be covered under different kind of rights, not in patents.
Right. So the same thing that currently we are fighting on Basmati with China is also not necessarily something which is a patent, but like you said, under the GI?
Yeah, for basmati and for turmeric, we already had a fight with US, and
It
success.
has
We
come in
have been
our favor.
success. Yeah, it has been our famous. It has been like now it has been years to that, but since it has been in our traditional knowledge, and after the fight with US over turmeric, Indian government realized that we should have a particular database so that it is easy to claim our traditional knowledge. So we do have a database in our CSIR documentation center is there. Okay, so
Ma'am,
basmati for China also the fight can go on, but India will be definitely a winner in that. Basmati is GI owned by India.
right. Ma'am, could you give us some more details about GI? Some brief idea about GI?
After completing with patent, I'll give you just a glimpse of GI also. Okay,
Thank you.
let me complete with the patenting thing because it is something very technical as well as legal and more complicated than other forms of intellectual properties. Okay, shall we proceed?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
So let's see where to file the patent application. So either we can file online or we can file physically or in the patent office. But the appropriate office should be chosen if we are going for the physical filing. So the appropriate office of the patent office shall be the head office of the patent office or the branch office as the case may be within those territorial limits. Territorial limits are guided by the residence of the applicant, where the applicant is residing, or the domicile of the applicant, or his place of business, where the business is happening. And if either of these are not met, then the place where the invention actually originated. And in the case where the applicant has no business or domicile in India, then the address of services India is given by the applicant. And that can be given like whosoever will be the patent attorney or the patent agent to the applicant, their address will be given. And the territorial jurisdictions will be selected from the table as mentioned in the table. Like for Chennai, it will be the person residing in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or the UTs of Pondicherry and Lakshadweep. For Mumbai, it will be the state of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Chhattisgarh, or the UTs of Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. For Delhi, it could be for Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, UP, Uttaranchal, Delhi, and Chandigarh. And for Kolkata, it would be rest of the India. I'll just give you a brief idea of the patent filing procedure. It is like filing procedure is easy, but all in all, the various steps involved need some knowledge and understanding of the system. So this is the official website of the patent office, ipindia.nic.in. This is the screenshot of that. And whenever you will go to this website, you will find a comprehensive e-filing portal. Under this comprehensive e-filing portal, there will be e-filing patents tab. You can click on this tab. The applicant has to get registration done, and then various forms will appear, and one by one those forms have to be filled and the fees has to be paid and submitted. That will complete the filing procedure. From this comprehensive e-filing tab only, if anybody wants, can go for e-filing trademark also and for e-filing designs also. But different tabs will be there. General process or the procedure for obtaining a patent. Main steps of patenting procedure. The first step is filing of the patent application, and for filing purpose we have to draft few forms. I'll be telling which all forms need to be submitted during filing. So first step is filing, and then after a certain period it will get published on the patent office journal. Usually the publication is after 18 months, but if the applicant wishes, they can apply for early publication also. Then it is published so that if anybody or any person wishes to apply for opposition, they can file their opposition in the form of pre-grant opposition or any representation. Then the applicant has to apply for the request for examination. Then only the application will be examined. After the request for examination, the application will be examined, and that will lead to the grant or refusal of the patent. And if the patent is granted, it will be published in the patent journal. Even after the grant, there are chances for opposition by any person interested, and that can be presented as post-grant opposition, and the controller will take the final decision. These are the documents that are required for filing of a patent application. Number one is the covering letter. That is very obvious. That will indicate what all the things are enclosed. The important forms are Form 1. It will be the request for the application for applying for a patent grant. It will include all the information about the applicant and the inventor. Then there will be a Form 2. That Form 2 will include either complete specification or the provisional specification. I will explain what is the difference in complete and provisional specification. First, let us complete what all the forms are required. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, it is the statement and undertaking by the applicant that which all other countries the patent has been applied for. If the applicant want to hire a patent attorney, then Form 26. Form 5, declaration of the inventorship. Form 18 are the request for examination. And if the applicant want to go for expedited examination, Form 18A. So these are the main forms that are required for filing, but as and when the procedure go on, the prosecution go on, other forms are also there. But these are the basic requisite for the patent application, along with the requisite statutory fees. Now the point to understand is who can file a patent application. Can somebody tell me how much time is remaining for the session?
Ma'am, we have 40 minutes for the session, and if required, we can have a break of 5-10 minutes, ma'am, in between.
No, not for me. If any of the participants want, I just wanted to know the time so that I can complete the things.
Yeah. Oh, actually, ma'am, we have almost an hour. It is supposed to be till 7:15, so we have almost 55 minutes. We can wrap up even 5 minutes early, no problem in that, and can have a break in between as well, ma'am, if required.
Okay, let us proceed right now, and if required, we'll just see.
Sure.
Who can file a patent application, or who can be the applicant? We'll talk of Indian scenario only over here. As per the Indian Patent Act, the application can be filed either alone or jointly. Joint applicant can be there, means more than one person in collaboration can apply for the patent. But the applicant has to be any person claiming to be the first and true inventor. That means that particular person who has invented that particular thing or has worked on the invention. Or applicant can be any person being the assignee of person claiming to be the true and first inventor. To whomsoever the first inventor is assigned the invention can also apply for the patent, or any legal representative of any deceased person or assignee can apply for the patent. Now, talking in detail about the Form 2, I told it can be a complete specification or the provisional specification. If our invention is ready, it is in total shape, then we should go for the complete specification and file for the patent. But if we see that yes, our invention is halfway, it is more or less is complete, but still there is some scope to gather some data or some improvement. What we can do, we can file a provisional specification and can acquire a priority date, like the date of filing. So we'll get 1 year time, 12-month time to submit the complete specification. As being told, we need to make complete disclosure of the invention. So complete disclosure is given in complete specification. If at the time of filing we are going for provisional, we will have to submit complete specification within a 12 months time. So coming to the complete specification, title and preamble should be there. Preamble specify whether the specification is complete or is it provisional. Prior art means whatever has been done in the related area which is close to our invention, that should be mentioned over here. Then what are the drawbacks that we have seen in the prior art and what are the solution to those drawbacks we are coming up with. We have to present those also. Then there will be a summary of the invention, statement of the invention or the field of area in which the invention belongs to, like it is of the agriculture, engineering, or is it of the medicament. So it has to be mentioned over there. Then the detailed description, whatever detail we can provide for the invention, we should give over here, along with the description of the drawings. Whatever drawings we can submit, we should give, and examples means the working example, how our invention is working, what are the working conditions, and when we applied these our invention, what were the results. So those has to be mentioned in the complete specification. Then there comes the claims. Claims is the most important area. Claims is that defines the scope of our invention. Whatever is written in the claims, that defines the boundary of our invention, that yes, our invention is from this point to that point and has been given in this format. Abstract summarizes about total of the invention, but it has to be like in a very concise way. Tell about the title, area of invention, the solution it is bringing, the utility of the invention, and if any figure is important figure, for example, any new molecule is invented, so the structural formula, similar kind of thing should be incorporated. And at the end, the drawings related to the invention should be given. So this is all in all the process of the patent grant in India. Let us revise once again. From the conceptualization of the invention, once the invention is the concept is there, one should go for filing of the application, and a person can go for complete specification or for provisional. Any one of the way applicant can follow. If the provisional specification is submitted, then within 12 months, complete specification has to be given, else the application will be abandoned. And if this process is completed, there will be publication of the application either early or after 18 months time, as the applicant has wished for. If there is any opposition, then the applicant has to face that and reply to that particular pre-grant opposition, else the process of examination will go on if the applicant has submitted the Form 18. Examination will be done within 40. If the form is submitted within 48 months from the date of priority, that is the first date of filing the application, within 48 months, Form 18, that is request for examination, has to be submitted. Then the examination will be taking place. And after examination, the patent office will issue FER, that is first examination report. And it will be given to the applicant for answering whatever the objections are there, if any, and if not, the application can be granted. And almost 99%, some or the other objections are always there. So the applicant is given chance to amend the document or appear for the hearing or give a reply to that particular examination report within 6 month time. And if everything goes well, the patent will be granted. And if FER or the examination report is not answered on time or objections are not met, then it will be abandoned. Earlier it was 12 months time, but now it has been reduced to 6 months. So I'll also make the correction. And after the grant, again, it will be in open public domain. And if anybody wants to grant a position, they can. The fee schedule is available, and you can access if you want to see the fee schedule at this particular link, ipindia.nic.in, and there patent forms and fees tab will be there. From there you can access this. The first page here, I am mentioning only the first page to give a glimpse of this. So it says the fees payable, and just to explain you, here it is mentioning about the form 1. The fees is different for the type of applicant. For example, if the person is applying form 1 and the natural person is there or a startup is there and applying for e-filing, then the fees will be 1600 rupees. And if the applicant is a small entity alone or with a natural person or with a startup, for e-filing, the fees would be 4,000. Similarly, for others, apart from these two categories, fees will be 8,000. This is for e-filing. And if the person is going for physical filing, the fees is a bit on higher side. You can see from there. So this is particularly for the application which is having complete specification within the page limit of 30. That is 30 pages are there and only 10 claims are there. Then let us talk of only of a natural person. Then the natural person has to pay 1600 rupees. But if the page number exceeds or the number of claim exceeds, the fees will be exceeding. It will multiply a bit as been mentioned over here. For complete details, you can go to the Patent Office website and see for the fees, forms and fees tab, and there you can have a complete look on the fees structure. This is only the statutory fees that is to be paid to the Patent Office. Apart from this, whenever a person files a patent, they hire a patent attorney because it is a very technical legal kind of document and should be very meticulously designed. One need to take a help from the patent attorney, and the fees of patent attorney varies from person to person. That is in addition to this Patent Office fees. So that was all about the patents. And before we move ahead, I'd like to take up the queries related to the patents.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, I have one query, like when we apply for a patent. So it goes to patent office through some agents and through some process. There is a method for it. So
Right.
uh, yes. So when how do they check whether the process somebody has submitted is correct or not, full proof or not?
Whenever the document is submitted at the patent office, you always get a receipt. If you are taking help from somebody else, do ask for the receipt from the patent office. If they have submitted, they will definitely give you the receipt.
No, ma'am. That is fine. My question is that I have applied for a process, for example, not a product, but for a
Mhm.
process. And let us say we feel that it is a new thing, and we should apply for a patent. So
Okay.
we did it.
Okay.
But what as a reply we got is it was rejected, and they told us that this has already been done. These
Okay.
things are already been done, and
Mhm.
for that they've just replied these search of the queries on Google Scholar or some research papers that this has already been done. Only we
Right.
know that we our method was different, but we could not prove it, and we were rejected. And
Okay.
what I feel, the people, those who are scientists at the Indian Patent Office, they were recruited after BTech, and the person who is applying is doing during the PhD. So my mind is not able to understand that how do they reject the applications, who's how uh, I mean, I feel that somebody who is doing a PhD must be knowing something uh, from her or his experience. But how do they reject it, how do they accept it? This
Okay.
I am not able to understand.
Okay, fine. If before rejection, when the examination report was given to you, so who answered to that examination report?
uh,
You got the examination report?
yes, we got the report, and we got that this thing is already done by these many people, so it is not a new thing, so we reject your application.
No, in patent, whenever the examination report is generated, they mention that these particular D1, D2, D3, these particular references are very close or similar to your invention. So your invention may be rejected. But you are given a fair chance
Yes.
to reply back to the examination report. If you can prove that the prior art document is different from your invention, then nobody can,
Acha.
whether it can be a PhD or it is not a matter of whatever the degrees person is holding. Okay. And second thing,
Okay.
it is not just one person who examines the patent application. It is within the patent office also. It is like a team, and step by step they have to follow. And always there are chances to the applicant, they can always get back to the patent office and prove their point if they do feel that they have been done wrong. For if they have not accepted your reply to the examination, they must have called for the hearing or must have given second examination report. Uh,
No. uh, Actually, ma'am, we did not follow up after that once we rejected in the first one.
Okay, so that is the case. Many a times, if in the examination response, examination report response, if the controller is not satisfied, then they call for the hearing and given fair chance to the inventor to present their points.
Okay.
And it is just not on the basis of the examiner that the patent is granted or not. You can say the examiner, when they are recruited, the eligibility is BTech, but the controller is the one who take the final decision, and out of their experience, irrespective of whatever degrees they are taking, they are much experienced to take the decision, and always the applicant is given a fair chance. And even after the rejection of the grant, there are chances to present your application in another appellate board. Indian Patent Office appellate board is there. If the patent feel that something is wrong, done wrong, and their invention is patentable, you should hire a good patent attorney and then file your request. It is not that just on one go the rejection is there. If you can prove your point that your invention is fulfilling the criteria as per the Indian Patent Act, then nobody can say that it is not grantable.
Okay, ma'am. I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, in this examination report that Charu was talking about, if she has
Yeah.
been told that it has been rejected, would they have given that, you know, your particular process or invention or whatever it was closely resembles XYZ, which could be already there in the Gazette or in the, you know, what is
Yes,
that patent
yes.
journal? They would
Yes,
have
they,
given her that
uh,
in the examination report.
yeah, they would have mentioned all the documents, reference number also. They would have said that these particular documents are falling in like similar to the
Similar
subject
or
matter
identical
disclosed.
to XYZ particular person
Yeah,
who's been granted. So
yeah.
based on that, if she wants, she can, like you said, go directly to the appellate board or she can ask for a hearing. What should her
Yes.
next step be?
Next step will be go for a hearing. Always, if immediately after examination report, usually hearing chance is given.
Acha.
If the response is not up to the satisfaction, controller do give a hearing chance. Applicant can always request for that along with the response, and after hearing, even after hearing, if the controller doesn't get satisfied, then it will be rejected. But another chance can be there if your invention is holding a lot potential, then go to the appellate board.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, anything else for the patents?
Ma'am, sorry, one more question that I have was on one of my batchmates mentioned that she has designed a cap and that cap is slightly different. Now, you said she can file it under industrial design as well as patent. So industrial design is only for maybe some technical change which is in her cap, or, you know, that bottle cap or whatever she has done. But the moment she files a patent, I'm just trying to understand this. So, ma'am, if she files a patent and tomorrow I want to manufacture, now she has done a bottle cap, for example. But suppose I want to use that same design and I'm a, let's say, you know, a lunchbox a manufacturer. And I want to use her cap design for a lunchbox, which will be different in size and dimensions. So then I have to go back to her and get a, you know, get her as a patent and, you know, her patent and take an okay from her, or do I have to apply to her for her permission under industrial design?
Look, how she has protected her cap, that is important. If she has taken both industrial design as well as the patent, then you just directly go to the person and take a license or permission, that means written permission from that person that you want to use that cap. That is all.
Yeah, but when she gives me that permission, ma'am, she will be giving it to me under the patent or under the industrial design?
That permission will be drafted as per her wisdom and your wisdom. Your mutualistic agreement will be there. She can permit, it will be like all the IPR. If she wants, she can transfer all the IPR rights to you. If she says IPR rights, then means both industrial design and patent. If she says only industrial design, or if she says only patents, all the patent rights, if she specify, then it is either of them. It is totally between you two, how you agree. It is an agreement.
And that
Got
means
it?
for if she is giving it to me for a specific use, so I tell her I'm
Yes.
going to make a lunchbox, you know, for, so it's going to be, so whatever payment terms we come to, negotiations like you saying or agreement, it will be for the use of only the lunchbox. If I decide to create, some other thing out of it,
it
then I
will
have
be
to again go
depending.
back to what, ma'am?
No, then in case you have a broader idea in your mind, you get the agreement or the license to use that particular design or particular cap, and don't and in that very particular agreement mention that you want to use it for different items of your benefit. Don't mention that you want to use it for the tiffin box or for the bottle only. It is totally the mutual agreement between you two. Just whatever is agreed upon, that has to be mentioned in the agreement. It is not mandatory to specify the product over there. It is up to the wish of the applicant or both the license owner as well as the licensee, what you people want.
And whatever negotiations we have financially is also up to both of us only. Like she can
Yes,
pay,
yes.
I can pay her one time for the design, or I can tell her ki bhai, depending on the agreement, every product I make, she gets a percentage of sales or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
That will be
Just
between us.
yes, that will be between you two, and upon your agreement on the terms and condition, you mention all that in the agreement and get a very meticulous agreement drafted by some lawyer, so that you don't miss out anything or that person don't miss out anything, and you both are benefited.
And we don't have to give this a copy of this agreement to the patent office or anything. It's just between us.
You don't have to give, but patent owner has to submit their working of their patent information to the patent office.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any more queries for patents?
I had a follow up on Priya ma'am's question only. Like, I might have designed that bottle cap, and let's say she is also using that, but like the same technique, but for a different purpose. And let's just say that she, covers it in a manner that it is the same basic principle. The basic skeleton is like mine only, but if you look at it, from the third person's view, it doesn't look like that. So how would this case be handled?
Have you obtained a patent over your cap technology?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
So then no other person can use the same technology, since you have patented the technology and not just the product, not the appearance of the product. You have patented, you have got the rights for the technology. And
For
if
that
anybody else
principle that I'm using.
yes,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
anybody else use, you can sue that person and ask for some claims some benefits from that.
Sure, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, let us move ahead then. If there are no more query for patents, or else we'll take at the end of the session. So about the geographical indication, as somebody wanted to discuss a bit about that also. Geographical indications are another form of intellectual property rights. Those are primarily given for agriculture, natural or manufactured products out of these kind of community. Geographical indication or GI, in short we term as GI, given assurance of the quality or distinctiveness of the product, which has essentially been attributable to the fact of its origin. Means whatever those quality or distinctiveness that are present in that particular product are due to the origin or due to the place from where that particular product has been originated. And that origin is defined by their geographical locality. The registration of the GI is valid for a period of 10 years and can be renewed from time to time for further period of 10 years each. Geographical indication goods are done under this particular Goods and Registration Protection Act 1999 and Geographical Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Rules 2002. And particularly GIs introduced to promote the economic prosperity of the producers of goods of that particular geographical territory. GI, as the name itself says, it refers to the geographical territory. Just whatever that particular place, that from whatever that place, that particular product or the art form, or we can see many food items also, we can see many fabric types also, or there are many different types of things that comes under this, but they have been originated, or whatever the distinctiveness happening in that particular product is due to their place of origin, then those products are protected as GI or geographical indication. As we talk of basmati rice, that is this basmati term is given to that rice that is produced in particular belt of India and some part of Pakistan also, and that particular belt of geographical territory or locality, because of their soil texture or because of their air quality or whatever reasons are there, that particular area of origin has given that particular aroma or distinctiveness to that rice, that the grains are long and it is giving a very good smell. So those characteristic features of that rice are due to their origin of place of origin. So this will come under the GI. Similarly, like champagne, like coffee beans of that particular area, these can be other items. But let us talk of some reputed GIs that belongs to India, because India in itself is a rich storehouse of very reputed goods of high quality that comes due to their geographical origin. For example, Mysore silk, that is well known, Tirupati laddu, and Naga mirch, Madhubani paintings, Lucknow chicken, Kashmir pashmina handicrafts, then Kullu shawls. These are very well known kind of items. These all are protected under GI. So I think this give a brief idea of GI as somebody was interested.
मैम जिस तरह से हम लोग कोई इंडिया में कई जगहों पर वी वेयर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्लोथिंग, जैसे धोती है सब लोग पहनते हैं, लेकिन बंगाली धोती बहुत अलग होती है एज कंपेयर टू रेस्ट ऑफ इंडिया, या टर्बन जैसे सरदार्स पहनते हैं वैसे महाराष्ट्र में भी अलग अलग टर्बन्स हैं. तो these can also be geographically indicated and applied for by the government.
Yes, they can be, but they need to prove certain criteria. Those are mentioned on the GI law. So if they are like fulfilling, they will be granted. These are just few that I have mentioned over here. There are hundreds of GI available in India.
इंडिया में टोटली अप्रोक्सीमेटली मैम हमारे एज ऑफ नाउ कितने जीआई प्रोडक्ट्स होंगे जो हम लोगों ने एज अ नेशन अप्लाई करके ले लिया है जीआई उसका?
एज अ नेशन नहीं अप्लाई होता जीआई, उस पर्टिकुलर टेरिटरी में अप्लाई किया जाता है. और इंडिया में टोटल ना 361 जीआईज रजिस्टर हो चुके हैं एज ऑफ करंट नॉलेज.
Okay. We are among the largest, India से सबसे ज्यादा GIs हुए हैं वर्ल्ड में, या ऐसा कोई आपको अंदाजा होगा? Just general question, मैम.
No, इतना तो मुझे अंदाजा नहीं है, but हाँ, now India has speeded up for its IPRs, various IPRs, not just for the GI, and in total IPR, yet India is lagging behind. But if we see, it is jumping every year by a good percentage.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
There is one more IPR. Let us take in brief about this also. This is particularly given to farmers or those who are working in the area of producing new plant varieties. It is Plant Variety and Farmers' Right Act. So in India, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Right Act 2001 is following, and this right is given to farmers and plant breeders who cultivates or develop any new form or new kind of plant variety. This act aims to establish an effective system for protection of plant varieties and the rights of the breeders and to encourage the development of new varieties of plant. हम बहुत ही layman, in very layman language, we often say that patent has been taken for this potato variety or this wheat variety. That particular patent refers to this particular form of IPR, that is PPVFRA. And it is not actually the patent, but this particular form of IPR. And the plant variety should follow some particular criteria, that is, it has to be novel, it has to be distinct, and it should be uniform. That means on on generation to generation, similar kind of variety should be, the farmer should be able to produce, and it should be stable. This uniform and stable refer to the same thing, that after like from year to year, similar kind of variety should be, the farmer should be able to regenerate. Then trade secrets. This is quite commonly known kind of IPR. In India, it is protected under common law only, and no particular act or law is there for trade secrets. And trade secret refers to any data or any information pertaining to the business that is not known to the public, and the rational attempts have been made in this regard for guarding the information as secret or confidential. In this area, various informations of what all can be kept as secret, maybe the research and development information. You can say the know-hows of any particular research. Then the software algorithms can either, if you are willing to disclose, go for the copyright registration. If not, just keep it a trade secret, but do create stringent safeguard for keeping the information confidential. Then any invention, any design, any formula, financial records, ingredients of any recipe, list of customers, devices, methods, consumer profiles, advertising strategies or policies, etc., etc. Whatever any person or any business house want to keep a secret and are essential for growth of their business or the making financial gains to their business, or the core of their business, we can say, they can be protected as trade secret, but very stringent, very stringent safeguard need to be set up. A very classical example is Ruh Afza, Coca-Cola. Their ingredients till date nobody knows, and they claim they have kept it as trade secret. And as nobody knows about the trade secret, their tenure is unlimited. So thank you. This was from my side, but yes, we should keep the remaining time for the questions or the queries.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the session.
Ma'am, sorry, एक और question है मेरा.
Yeah, most welcome, please.
We have just announced, the Indian government has just announced this Kasturi brand of cotton, which is going to give a competition to Egyptian cotton. So will this come under PVFRA, जो आपने बोला, या will it come under GI? Because वो भी एक plant variety से ही बना हुआ cotton होगा, जहां तक मुझे information है. So I just wanted to know how do you differentiate?
It has to be like, I also have to read about it, what claims have been done? Is it developed due to the new variety? If it is Kasturi cotton has been developed by some new variety of the cotton plant, then it will be under the PPBFRA. And if it is developed from the variety that has given that kind of cotton, and the distinctiveness of that cotton is because it has been grown in that particular area, geographical area. If the distinctiveness or the quality belongs, the characteristic belongs to that particular area, they are coming because it has been grown over there only, then it will be under GI.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome, Priya. So you are very much interested in GI?
Sorry, मैंने सुना नहीं, ma'am.
I was just asking, you are more interested in GI?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I am. I've been reading a lot on the Indian history and Indian business. I study a lot about Indian businesses, and
Okay.
I realize that we have a wealth of information which is being, harnessed by other people, and we are,
Okay.
now waking up. Now, मतलब फिर भी 10-15 साल से तो कर रहे हैं बहुत actively. So GI
Yeah,
has
still we are
become very
learning.
critical
Yeah.
because we have such unique things in this country, which we are
Exactly.
ourselves not, in the know of. जितना पढ़ती हूँ उतना ऐसे लगता है अरे बाप रे इसको भी GI कर दो, इसको भी GI कर दो, So that's why I was very keen on understanding GI. Thank you so much.
Welcome. I think I have been able to make certain points clear, though the IPR in itself is a very wide topic, and just it was a glimpse of the area. And you can always come to me. You can contact me at my email ID if required, or the contact number I have shared in my slide. I have mentioned my contact number over here. If anybody wants any details, you can please contact me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
One question I was expecting from the participants, that if somebody has come up with a vaccine, since it is a COVID time going around, so vaccine comes to our mind. So whether one should go for a trade secret or whether one should go for a patent. Any answer?
Ma'am, I think it would be a patent. In fact, I had another question, ma'am, not really directed to the COVID vaccine, but yahi tha कि we do a lot of generic medicines. The Indian government is pushing for generic medicines, and we are the largest manufacturer of pharmaceutical products, and we've been selected to do these bulk manufacturing. So obviously the country which is creating the vaccine is going to have a patent, and it's going to license us to manufacture some stuff. But
Yeah,
I
that
don't
is
think
a
it can be a
different-
trade
yeah.
secret because it is a world disaster. So in times of disaster, जैसे आपने बोला, each government will have to be on a friendly term.
Yes, yes.
So I think to
No,
that extent,
you are absolutely right. It was just for the common vaccine I wanted to discuss about, because in pandemic situation, all the laws, all the things take a different shape. It was just relating to the scenario around the vaccine term came to my mind, and I talked of that. I'm not talking of COVID vaccine particularly. Okay, but you're absolutely right. If we talk of the COVID vaccine, it has to be mutually agreed upon terms between different countries, and patent cannot be residing with any particular one country or someone. And when we talk of generic medicine that India is manufacturing, it is like, as I told you, a patent expires after 20 years, and the thing or that particular invention is in public domain, and anybody is free to manufacture, use that. So these generic medicines comes from that particular category. The patent expires, and then we start manufacturing that.
oh, so the generic medicines don't have like a substitute product that we use to manufacture it.
What do you mean by substitute product?
I mean, I know it's a very stupid example, but मुझे chemicals में तो नहीं मालूम है, लेकिन समझ लीजिए मुझे कोई चीज बनानी है, उसमें पेटेंट है कि उसमें आप घी इस्तेमाल करें, और समझ लीजिए मैं घी के बजाय बटर इस्तेमाल करके वही प्रोडक्ट सिमिलर बनाती हूँ, सिमिलर नॉट आइडेंटिकल, ऑब्वियसली टेस्ट फर्क पड़ेगा या कुछ, stupid example, but I'm sorry, I'm in the kitchen and I could only think of this just now. अगर chemicals में ऐसा कुछ ऊपर नीचे होके कोई formulation में ऊपर नीचे थोड़ा करके ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है. I was under the impression that is how generic medicines are done.
But that can also be done, but it's not for the generic kind particularly. Okay. Yeah, anybody can come up with a different combination or composition, the way you say replacing ghee with butter or something like that, though it will not be patentable.
One example could be like crocin medicine and the paracetamol.
Yeah, paracetamol is
generic.
Crocin is a brand. And paracetamol or acetaminophen is the medicine or the drug that is in that, ingredient in that. And it is a very old ingredient. So now anybody is free to manufacture that.
But ma'am, so, even despite these pandemics and despite these large-scale issues, India has always been on a fighting path on this generics, no? As in to make it available to a larger section. जैसे AIDS होता है, so I think we have been fighting in the world for giving AIDS medicines at discounted prices because of the volumes and stuff like that in a generic sense. ताकि formulation मिले और जिनको चाहिए उनको सख्त जरूरत है, पैसा नहीं है. So is that true? I mean, is that true that modifications to the original thing can be done? Sorry,
yeah,
I'm sorry if I'm going.
For chemicals, if we say not, we can say for all we can apply, but yes, if it is coming out of the patent rights, as I told you, claims define those rights. And if the claim has, just coming back to your example only, has not covered butter and it has only specified ghee, then anybody can replace it with butter and will be easily able to manufacture that and will not like infringing anybody's patent. And if we talk particularly of manufacturing drugs, it is like a very different kind of area of pharmaceutical marketing. I don't know if you have any idea or not. So there are many kind of things goes on. One R&D setup is there. The person, the company keep researching and developing new molecule. Then the patent expires. Those kind of molecules are there. Then some combinations kind of things are there, where 2 or 3 salts are combined, as you say, to make them available to the public. So these are all the marketing gimmicks, different kind of things that we can follow in the pharmaceutical marketing industry. So sitting under a roof without understanding this pharmaceutical industry, it would be difficult, but going patent goes only to the R&D company. Whosoever has developed that particular molecule, those get the patent rights. And that's why initially the drug, important drugs, as we say for the diabetes or for the cancer or for AIDS, initially all of them are on very high price. Since this development process and the patent process earlier used to take a lot of time, these companies are able to enjoy the patent royalty and patent rights for certain years only, and they try to make maximum out of that so that they can further that they can make up whatever expenses they have done for the R&D. And after the drug is in public domain, yes, India has always taken up those kind of leads and very quickly taken up the market and manufactured drugs at a large scale.
Ma'am, one last question I have for IPR specific. Once we register the IPR in India, whatever, whether patent or industrial design or whatever, एक बार वो हो गया, does that allow me to go internationally, or internationally again, whichever country I go, I have to do the whole process again, or there's something like a world IPR or an international intellectual property organization or something?
So, there is nothing like word patent, okay? These IPR rights are territorial, leaving aside the copyright. Copyright is like wherever you get, you will hold it anywhere in the world. You can enjoy that for copyright. But for patents or other rights, they are territorial. You have to apply in each and every territory wherever you want to enjoy your rights. But there is one organization, WIPO, WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, that facilitate this filing process. If we talk of patent, they provide a PCT route, Patent Cooperation Treaty. PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty. This PCT route, if any applicant adopts, then they can file their patents in those countries who are member of WIPO. But the benefit they will get 31 months time to file in each and every country separately. After 31 months period, again they will be entering the national phase, and in whichever country they want to have their rights, they will have to enter and file in that particular country. And similarly, trademark also have some mechanism given by WIPO. Design also have some mechanism. But yes, you will have to file in each and every territory wherever you want to enjoy your rights.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we should sum up now if there are no more
Yes.
queries.
Yes, ma'am. I think most of the
Thank you
queries
very
been
much for
answered.
listening. And thank you, Rahul, for your close cooperation.
No
And
problem,
please
ma'am.
convey
Thank you.
my regards to Dr. VK and other faculty members also.
Sure, sure, ma'am. So I was in another meeting. Elsie has been joined here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.